Hi everybody, here I am, Grandma Kimmy. I thought I would just come on and tell you about a 35-year long friendship that I've had. It's very special to me and it's very important to my whole family. Right, I probably won't tell you it all in one set because it will be too much, but here goes. Okay, as you can see, I'm in this end of the nursery, in the nursery end of my bedroom. Anyway, what it actually is about 35 years ago, give or take, I was heavily pregnant with my third child, a daughter. And as I was walking downtown, I was tired, I'd had enough. And a lovely lady come up to me and spoke to me. I'd seen her about, but I did not know her. Now, this lady was a little bit older than me. She's 22 years older than me, as a matter of fact. Old enough to be my mum. But I took an instant liking to her. She was really nice, quiet, calm, and really sweet. I can't explain. There was just something special about this lady. Anyway, naturally enough, being a lady herself who'd had children, and there was I heavily pregnant, she asked me when my baby was due, and I told her around about October the 20th, give or take. So she said, oh, wouldn't it be lovely if you had it on my daughter's birthday, which is October 20th. And that was where the story started. Sure enough, my daughter was born on October 20th, on my friend's daughter's birthday. And from then on, we became avid friends. Do you know what? I don't even know how it started to develop, whether she invited me over for a coffee and a cigarette, because we both smoked at that time, or whether we just chatted on the doorstep or outside or downtown. I don't know how it happened. It just happened. Friendship developed and we become really, really good mates. Anyway, this particular person was in my life and has been my life through everything. She's been in my life through fantastic things like childbirth, the birth of my grandchildren. She's been there for me when I was very ill. I had 2 cancer operations and I've been in hospital numerous times for different bits and pieces. I had a bit of a rough ride for a while there. Anyway, also at the same time as I had my daughter, I was in my first marriage. It was a bit up and down. We married awfully young, in fact far too young to think about settling down, and before long we grew apart and things were not good. But she was there for me. She helped me. She helped me through the tears. She helped me through the joy. She helped me through everything. And I really appreciated her for that. But in the same vein, she'd had a rough upbringing. She'd also been in a marriage and they'd grown apart and it had finished, and she was bringing up her children on her own. So she knew how I felt about things and she knew my pain and everything. Anyway, as time went on, we became closer. We became best buddies. We used to go out in the apple fields and work together, and we've had some laughs. And this lady's really sweet and naive and wonderful, and she doesn't swear. She's really sweet. Well, when us girls all got together out in the field, sometimes it could be a bit, should I say, blue in the air. If one of us dropped particular fruit that we wanted to pick, or stubbed our toe, or got stung by a bee. She was very accepting of all that. She never moaned at us. She never swore herself, but she never moaned about it. She used to say to me that when she first started working, it was quite difficult to hear these young ladies talking as they did because she hadn't experienced it. She speaks very well and had been taught to speak very well. And her dad was strict and he brought up a very, I would like to say prim and proper, but that's not the way to put it, but he brought up a lovely young lady. Anyway, our relationship developed over the years. I got to know her children, especially her youngest daughter, who used to come to my house because there's only, I don't know what, not even 10 years difference, I guess, between my eldest and her youngest, because I said she's 22 years older than me. So as time went on, we were each other. Look, we went shopping, we went out for days, we did all sorts of things together, and we got to know each other. I told her secrets that probably I would never tell anybody else, things that I was ashamed of, things that I was proud of, and I told her, and she likewise told me things. And some of the things she told me make my heart cry for her, because she's such a delicate, sweet person. And yeah, okay, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say, oh, our relationship has been wonderful over the 35 years. We've never had a rough patch. Of course we have. I've written her letters apologising for my behaviour. She's apologised for her behaviour. We've had some ding-dongs. I'm not going to lie, we've had some real old ding-dongs. But they made us closer because they've made us understand each other better. Now, my children grew, her children grew. Sadly, my first marriage fell apart. And she was there for me. She supported me. My first marriage was very much an on-off thing. And at the last, I decided, this is it. I can't do this anymore. It's not fair on me. It's not fair on him. And it's not fair on my 3 children. Most definitely not. So, what I did then was I came round to the idea of making that break and making it complete. For a few weeks, I had to move away. I went all the way up to Faversham with my children until we were able to get back our home. It is a council house, as it was then, but I needed to get my ex-partner out. So anyway, we did that, and she was supportive in this time. At that time now, her son, who's 9 years younger than me, he began with her to help me when I needed it. Monetary, he paid for me and mum to go away for a long weekend, call her mum, me and her for a long weekend, his mum and I. And we loved it. We absolutely loved it. We spent time in Hastings. We had a long weekend. We watched the boats come in and the boats go out in the morning. It was wonderful. Then, as I say, I had a big thing in my life. I had to go to Faversham. My marriage was over and she was supportive. When I came back, I had a really important job to tell her. The really important job was to tell her that after a few weeks, I had started a relationship with her son. I was petrified. He's 9 years younger than me. By now I was 31, he was 22, and I was petrified. I thought, what the hell am I going to do? How am I going to explain to my best friend that I want to date her son? She accepted it. She never said anything. She accepted it. And then, as the years went on, her son and I moved in together, and we eventually had a child. My youngest daughter, her grandchild. And I can honestly say that, how do I put this? I can honestly say that she's been more than a friend to me. In fact, she's my friend. She is my godmother, because my children and I were baptised when they were old enough to more or less understand, and obviously I was well and truly old enough, and she was the person that stood in as like referee for an adult being christened, and she was there. And so she's my godmother, and she's also my mum-in-law. Now, a lot of people don't have good relationships with their mum-in-laws, and as I said, we've had our ups and downs, and we still have our ups and downs. But you know what? I would not be without her in my life. She is the bee's knees, the business. I love her with all my heart. Well, she told me about some times when she was young and times were hard and she couldn't have toys that she would have liked. One of her favourite toys was a tiny little matchbox, and inside that tiny little matchbox was a doll, and that was her doll. She had some pearls and things, so over the years, they weren't real pearls, they were plastic pearls, and she was giving them as a gift. But over the years, I've bought her things, and one of the main things I wanted to buy her was a reborn doll. That's where the box comes in, isn't it? I bought her the reborn doll. She kept the reborn doll in a box, which is here beside me. You can hear me tapping it. And she has been very poorly. She's been in hospital poorly. And we did her house, between us all, her included. We did her house up to spick and span standards for her, to make it easier for her as she gets older. Because we want them around and we want her here near me. We all live on the same estate. And that's what we did. And I said to her, Mum, that baby's been in that box too long. Shall I take it home and look after it? And she said yes. So I went and I collected it. And now that baby is back in my nursery, because I bought it for Mum. It's back in my nursery. And the next thing I'm going to do is, or the next video will be, the conclusion, the box. And you will see that I have returned him. He's back home with me. It is a boy. And she loved him, and now it's my turn to love him again. And every time I hold him, I will think of one of my dearest, most loved friends. I love you, Mum. You're real special to me. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed my little story. Obviously, there's other stories over 35 years that me and her have shared, and that's the basis. And the next time, I will show you the baby. Thanks for listening to me rambling on. I hope you've had a nice cup of tea and a nice sit down, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Bank Holiday Monday. Bye, peeps. Be safe.